What's up, everyone? Thrift Behringer here. Richard Holdridge live from Houlihans, as we do every single month. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Big Rich, the Rambler, back better than ever. How are you, man?
Oh, man, Thrift, I'm doing great. Great to be here at Houlihans once again, getting ready to talk all the sports around the Chattahoochee Valley and more.
Now, listen, man, I was watching on social media called Last Take, and it's a parody of guys that are making fun of Kendrick Perkins, Shannon Sharp, and Stephen A. Smith. And then they even add Skip Bayless in it. I'm wondering, do the kids do the same thing with us? You got the Rambler that just keeps going on and talks about where's Brittany at in the middle of a broadcast. And Richard, you got Thrift screaming and the top of his lungs. It feels like he's screaming at you on the TV. I can't wait for somebody to make fun of us. You know what's going to happen, man.
Oh, you know they're going to have parodies. I mean, they got those fake Sports Center Instagram pages. I love seeing it. I love laughing at myself. And it is great. And,
how about throwing in 90s hip-hop and West Coast hip-hop in the middle of a Russell County Smith Station broadcast last night?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was doing,
You know
too.
you're going to get something with Big Rich, baby.
You know?
All right, we got a lot we're going to be getting into, but we want to say thank you to Valley Hospitality of their partnership with us, and we have the Houlihans Highlight of the Week we're going to get into in just a moment. We have the 3 nominees we're going to drop here early on in the show, and then later on we're going to have the actual winner and the person that made the call on the winning highlight of the week. So can't wait to get into that. We got Ricky Rogers, Mike Peacock's going to be joining us. We're going to get into flag football because we got another team in the air making the state championship. How about those Harris County Tigers? How about Rick Beach? Shout out to our guy, Kudzu Sports, Rick Beach, Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and him. He's been coaching flag football the last couple seasons.
Yep.
And now the County Tigers are back in Mercedes-Benz. They'll be taking on Washington County. We did something really cool, Richard, on Wednesday. Monday, excuse me. Yes, Monday, because today's Wednesday. I'm mixing up the days. That's how you know it's already been a long week and we're halfway through it. Monday, flag football. I was live from Danny Durham Field. We had Jordan there in the quarterfinals. We had Harris County there in the quarterfinals. You were live from Otis Spencer Stadium with Columbus High in the quarterfinals. Well, Harris County won. Jordan lost. Harris County played Fitzgerald in the semis. And then Columbus won. They took on Washington County. And we're going to talk about those games later on in the next segment here. But first, we got to go to our Houlihans Highlight of the Week. That's why we are here, and I want y'all to take a check at what's on the table right now. We got a KC burger. You know what that is? That's a cheeseburger with barbecue, onion rings, and just bacon. Mike Peacock, please wipe your face, man. Too much drool. It looks delicious. We got deep fried. Who doesn't like anything deep fried? Mushrooms right here. Now, I don't know if I feel about this debauchery sauce. You know how you like the debauchery sauce, man. I do love some deep fried mushrooms, and then of course just regular loaded chicken nachos, even with some avocados on it, man.
And jalapenos.
Every time we come here, the food is absolutely delicious. It's always great service. Houlihans, the place to be, and come and hang out with us. We're going to be here for the next couple hours.
So every time we come here, the food is fantastic. I like getting the salmon myself. That's my go-to.
You're a salmon man.
I'm a salmon man.
Can I tell you, I used to call it salmon.
Salmon. Like Tim Salmon,
yeah.
the California Angels outfielder.
And there was a guy that played for Pacelli.
Kingston Salmon.
Yeah, I don't want to say Salmon because I was like, no one's named Salmon. And then I saw his dad and he said, hey, man, my last name's Salmon. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to call you Salmon and be wrong, but that's why I should have asked. But what we're going to do right now is we are going to show you the 3 nominees from this past week. Houlihans Highlight of the Week. Roll it.
Taking the ball up court. She gets over to the wing. Screened by Sampson as she throws it in. 3-point by Mackenzie Word.
In the shotgun. Man in motion. Another bad snap. Tarver's going to take the snap out of the air. He's in the secondary. 10-5. Touchdown Tarver. Oh my goodness.
Boney, who hit several in the first half, has been quiet in the second half. Only got 4 points total. Buckle up. Dylan Austin for the jam.
That's pretty incredible plays. Dylan Hostin, you saw that final one with Calvary with the dunk. We had Carver, Popcorn Tarver. who had the incredible run there off of a mistimed snap. I don't even know what that. I was on the field when I saw that. I'm like, what the heck just happened? And all of a sudden, Tarver's running for a touchdown. Mike Peacock was on the call for that one. And then, how about Frosty calling some basketball, man? Love his calls. I love his get up.
Yep.
Love Mike Frost. Those three were on our Instagram. People voted for him. We got a winner. We'll announce later on in the show. But right now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the flag football, what happened on Monday, and what's coming up. Georgia Alabama Sports Live show from Houlihans. Right back after this.
Houlihans serves fresh, handcrafted dishes made just the way you like them. Juicy burgers, sizzling steaks, crisp salads, and shareable appetizers set the table for every appetite. Relax with friends, celebrate special moments, or enjoy a casual night out. Houlihans delivers great food, great drinks, and great times, with 2 locations in Columbus, downtown at the Marriott Hotel and on Sidney Simons Boulevard at the Doubletree Hotel.
Whether you're building your business or finding your dream home, G2 Real Estate is with you every step of the way. Commercial or residential, our mission is the same, turning your vision into reality. With experience, insight, and a commitment to your success, we're more than brokers, we're your partners. G2 Real Estate, building futures one property at a time.
Dropping later on tonight, we got another Planet Fitness Student Athlete of the Week. We got 2 incredible athletes from Brookstone, and that includes Julianne Powell, point guard for the basketball team, who's been sensational this year to start the season, and A.J. Hayes, linebacker, leader of the football team, led Brookstone to the state championship, and also a dynamic wrestler. So looking forward to talking to both of them, and looking forward to dropping that on our Instagram page and Facebook. Make sure to like, subscribe on both of those pages, and shout out to our guy, Travell Shumo of Planet Fitness. And the Planet Fitness Student Athlete of the Week will also have an Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Week. We'll be dropping here real soon. All right, let's talk about Monday. First things first, Columbus, they took down in game 1 Heard County. Heard County only had 1 loss this year, and that was to Harris County in the region championship. They were undefeated before they beat Harris County earlier in the year. Columbus got a big win there. Richard, you were there for that.
Yeah, 13-7. It was a back and forth game in that first half. Columbus scored a touchdown. Heard County scored a touchdown. They missed the try. It's 7-7. Columbus missed the try. It was 13-7, and then it was just a defensive second half. Heard County had the ball, and they had a chance to take the 1-point lead, but that Columbus defense stepped up, and they advanced to the semifinals. It was a good game, and I was there for all 3 games. Sat back and watched Washington County and St. Vincent's Academy. That was the other game. And the funny thing is, it was freezing cold. I don't know how cold it was up at Danny Durham Field.
Yeah, Danny Durham Field was even colder. It was like a tundra. But I want to say this, Rich. Before you get into the quarter, obviously Washington County beat St. Vincent,
of course,
and they played in the semifinals. We'll get into that in just a moment. First things first, I do want to get into Carver got into a altercation with Gainesville, the flag football team, last week. Now, last Thursday, Carver winning, a Gainesville player started a fight. Carver, all their players run on the field, and because of that and what has happened with Gainesville previous weeks with the football team, they said automatic forfeit, Gainesville moves on. Gainesville ends up playing Harris County. Before I get into that, the Carver Tigers, Kendall Mills, and Muskogee County put in an appeal to the GHSA, and they waited until 4 o'clock, albeit game time was 5 o'clock, to deny them. Don't agree with that process. It was the same thing that happened with Gainesville and Brunswick. Brunswick started, Gainesville came on the field to defend their players, and they ended up winning the appeal process. Carver does the same thing. Obviously, Gainesville players are not going to run on the field because guess what? It just happened 2 weeks prior. They obviously know, other than one girl, not to leave the field, but Gainesville's the one that started. I hate that's what happened. I hate the ruling, but it is what it is. But I'll tell you this, Harris County, they kind of played for Carver too. 34-0 smackdown of Gainesville. Cricket College was sensational. Harris County moves on to the semifinals. Jordan then took on Fitzgerald. Close matchup, but Fitzgerald just had too many athletes. Great season, though, by Shereen Cobb and the Jordan Red Jackets making it to the quarterfinals. And then we had a semifinal matchup, Harris County and Fitzgerald. But let's go back to yours. Washington County and Columbus. What happened, Rich?
Well, it was close in that hard to overcome. Washington County has just got tremendous athletes. They've got a receiver that had made some spectacular catches on 4th down. They converted 2 4th down plays. All Columbus had to do a touchdown to put them ahead by 2 touchdowns, and they ended up winning the game 25-13. And it was just a game that Columbus just played a very talented team with athletes, and they ran plays to perfection. And Columbus was trying to keep up with them in that first half, but it was just too much of that wide receiver that I know that Harris County is going to have to deal with, because she was a problem all night.
But still, great season for Columbus. Chris Greer, semifinals. They only had 2 losses all season long. But then Harris County took on Fitzgerald, and Harris County 14-7 win, and they make it to the Bend. So the County Tigers are going to be taking on Washington County on next Monday at 11 o'clock. We will be there live for coverage of that. So looking forward to seeing those County Tigers. Coach Michael Kinsey, Pearson Pettit, then also Cricket Collie, and just an elite defense. I think County has what it takes, and I think they are the favorite to win it all this year. Carver Tigers are going to make it. They're going to take on Hapeville Charter. That is next Tuesday at 5 o'clock. We're going to have a live pregame, postgame, halftime. We're going to give you up-to-date information, coverage unlike anyone else. So you're going to make sure to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, to get all the update information. We'll be live from the Bends. Cannot wait for that, Richard. And, now tomorrow with Gainesville winning, we'll have all the state championships, ready for the GHSA. So looking forward to being able to cover both those days, Monday and Tuesday, with Harris County and with Carver.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to being at the Bends 2 days on Monday and Tuesday. By the way, Gainesville does play Rome tomorrow. They flipped the 5A championship and the 6A championship, so we're going to get the 6A championship of Beaufort and Carrollton right after the Carver-Hayfield Charter game. So that's going to be a lot of fun. How about Toombs County taking on Lincoln County? That's going to be a good matchup. And Bowden going for the 4-peat.
I'm looking forward to Beaufort and Carrollton, which will be right after Carver.
We might have to stay for that one. That looks like a game that is worth staying for.
Yesterday we had basketball. Spencer girls. How about Coach Chence's team? It was the Burke sisters. Now it's the Rosser sisters. Nadra and Karma, 5-2 are the Spencer Green Waves. Glenwood girls got a win. Glenwood boys, tough loss at Elmore. Hardaway and Calvary played. Calvary beat Hardaway. How about Russell County boys and girls sweeping Smith Station? That was unbelievable. Shaw and Northside are actually playing right now. We had some other games going on. Pacelli.
Jordan, they lost to Central Talbotton.
Pacelli actually plays Russell County this week. I told
girls.
Mike Peacock, I am super jealous. That is going to be a massive game. By the way, Heritage and Pacelli are actually playing right now.
Pacelli girls lost to East Coweta yesterday.
But again, Pacelli boys are playing Heritage. Heritage is a powerhouse in the GIAA. Pacelli girls played earlier tonight. We did not get a final score in that, but those are 2 of the top teams that are in our area. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. When we come back from break, we're going to have Ricky Rogers, who's going to be sitting down with Richard Holdridge. And then later on, I'll be with Mike Peacock. We're live from Houlihans. It's a KC burger. It's deep fried mushrooms. It's nachos. We're going to be stuffing our face, having a good time here. Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show.
And the tall, peacemakers, risk takers, for the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists, for long distance love, for the farsighted, nearsighted, for introverts and extroverts, for the thinkers and the doers, for old friends. Coca-Cola, for everyone.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Carol Purdue in Phoenix City today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And we're back here live from Houlihans. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, and I'm with one of the newest, well, not newest producer. You've been with us for about a month now. It's Ricky Rogers. He's also an on-air personality. He also has a podcast called Stoner Cast, a podcast dedicated to the Columbus Cleanstones.
Go Stones.
Ricky, how's it been so far since you've been at Georgia Alabama Sports Live? You seem to, get kind of the feel of what we do, and you also stay very busy.
I'm making the switch from football to basketball to wrestling. I've been able to cover Smith Station Wrestling, and it's been amazing to watch. As someone who never really went to any high school wrestling, it's been pretty cool to watch it and learn the nuances and the rules. So, being a part of Georgia Alabama Sports Live, we cover everybody and every sport. So it's been amazing for me as a guy that grew up loving sports to be able to cover it on a daily basis. And thank you to Thrift for the opportunity to come on board and learn a new skill. But I've been able to really get into it and enjoy it.
Yeah, there's no question about it. We definitely appreciate you and just your willingness to be a part of the team. And, having that transition, obviously we still have football season. We don't have any more games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. With Carver in the state championship, you've been a part of that Carver State run on the NFHS network. Talk about that experience, being at Otis Spencer Stadium, having a great team to work with, and also seeing what you have noticed from the Carver Tigers as they make this championship run.
With Georgia Alabama Sports Live and due to GHSA regulations, we didn't have the rights to stream it. So we were able to team up with NFHS and provide their stream, our commentators, our production, our cameras, and we provided it for NFHS to put out on their platform. And we're really blessed with some high-level commentators in the Georgia Alabama Sports Live family. So teaming up with Mike Peacock, with Mike Frost, with Austin Allen to bring these Carver games, these high-energy, high-level Carver games to you has been amazing. I've enjoyed every minute. I've produced each of their playoff games, and I'm looking forward to them going Tuesday to Mercedes-Benz to play for a state championship, and I think it'll kind of put the icing on the cake for us.
I am too. Well, Ricky, let's switch gears. Let's talk about the Columbus Cleanstones. Obviously, they don't play until April of next year, but I know a lot of sports fans are not thinking about baseball right now. But we do have the winter meetings. We do have the Rule 5 draft. I know that you're thinking about baseball because you've been putting out episodes of Stoner Cast. Right. Just talk about just that growth of the podcast and just talk about just the excitement of year 2 at Synovus Park for the Columbus Cleanstones in 2026.
Oh, man. I first got to just say thank you to Houlihans. This food, I'm sitting here eyeing it out of, looking, and it looks amazing. Thanks, Houlihans, for having us. And, the Cleanstones had a great first season. The Synovus Park was packed most every weekend. And I'm really looking forward to season 2. Thankfully today, I can gladly report that the Braves did not lose any players to the Rule 5 draft today.
There you go.
So Ian Mejia is still a Brave. Adam Zabrowski is still a Brave. David McCabe is still a Brave. So, we're pumped that they didn't lose anybody and that maybe we might get some of those guys back down here. But Atlanta builds their team with a traffic jam in mind, and we're just, we've got guys that are biding their time and waiting to get the nod to AAA. So Stoner Cast is a complete look at every aspect of the Cleanstones: front office, players, coaches, fan roundtables. We're excited to bring it all to you. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. We drop each and every Friday at 6 a.m., and I'd love for you to join in and listen in. Submit some fan questions via our social media channels on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll shout you out on each episode.
I do love it. Of course, the home opener will be April the 3rd. It's going to be Easter weekend as the Cleanstones will be taking on the Chattanooga Lookouts. As a fan of the Southern League, I used to work for a Southern League team that no longer exists out of Jackson. Just the fan bases of minor league baseball has been really special, and the Columbus Cleanstones is the exception to everything that's been going on. We have that rivalry with the Montgomery Biscuits. We got the rivalry with the Birmingham Barons. Just talk about like that AA baseball atmosphere and why it's important that we have a AA team in Columbus. We haven't had a AA team since the Columbus Astros in 1990. Why is it important to have high quality baseball, a Double-A team here in Columbus.
You know, I'm a one of those guys. It's a me versus everybody thing. Like, I'm pointing that guy out right there. It's me versus him every single day, every single minute of the day. And you know, I want to see the Clingstones beat every team in the Southern League. I hate Rocket City. I hate Montgomery. I hate Pensacola, Biloxi, Chattanooga, Knoxville. They come into Synovus Park. I'm pulling for them to get their brains kicked in. So, you know, I'm a Clingstones guy through and through, and I will not ever hide that. Even as a media personality, I'm not going to hide it. I love the Clingstones, and I pull for them to win every single game. So.
Can I say something, Ricky? As a fan of other minor league baseball and Double-A, the Eastern League, the Texas League, I would love to one day see interleague minor league baseball where the Clingstones play like the Arkansas Travelers of the Texas League. How cool would that be?
Pete Lavin, our general manager, actually was an Arkansas Traveler general manager many years ago.
Oh, yeah.
He brought that up to me and mentioned that through a conversation we had. And yeah, I'd love it. Bring some other teams in.
Bring it.
Bring some California boys, Richard. You can be right at home cheering on your California boys.
The California minor league teams are single A and triple A, though, so I don't know if it would work out.
But, yeah, I got you. Well, hey, bring them. Anybody, anytime, anywhere. I want that to be the Clingstones mantra. Bring them to Synovus Park. Let's play them. Let's beat them. And you know, hopefully soon we're going to hoist a trophy up at the end of a regular season, and everybody in town will be saying "Go Stones."
Well, you know, Columbus likes a winner. Ricky, my final question to you is: now that we're into winter sports, what are you looking forward to most about covering the winter sports? Not just basketball, but wrestling. We might even get a swimming match, or maybe even an archery tournament. I mean, winter sports is definitely in full effect, and I know that the championships are just around the corner as well.
As a guy behind the camera for now, you know, I'm really looking forward to some winter sports. You mentioned archery. Man, I'd love to hear Mike Frost call archery. I'd love to produce that episode. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Mike Peacock calling swimming. He might just get in the pool with them and lap them. You know, I would love to call those kind of sports. So let's go. You know, if it's a sport, it's taking place in Columbus, Georgia. Thrift Behringer is going to make sure we are there to bring it to you live and give everybody in Columbus the access to watch these youngsters grow up and compete in the arenas that they've chosen. And that's the best part about it. I didn't have that when I went to school.
Well, yeah, check this out. I called archery last year, and it was pretty cool. I had my golf play-by-play voice, a very quiet, subtle voice, because they're focused on the bows and the targets.
Got a little Jim Nance going on.
Yeah, little Jim Nance on there. But, you know, I've called lacrosse. Man, when I was at my daughter's gymnastics competition this past weekend, I was so tempted to pull out my phone and actually do play-by-play when my daughter was on the vault. But, you know, that's either here or there. Maybe one day we'll have a gymnastics team at the high school level here in Columbus.
Right.
Ricky, thank you so much for joining us here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. We're going to go and take a break. When we come back, Thrift Behringer and Mike Peacock are going to be in these seats just talking sports. Don't go anywhere. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, live from Houlihans. Back after this.
Go Tigers.
Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has nearly 1 million athletes live with pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Out the year is here. Get massive savings on GMC Sierras and Canyons. Full-size GMC Sierras, almost $15,000 off. GMC Canyons, over $5,000 off. Or take advantage of 0% finance. Plus, no payments until March of next year. Now is the time for end-of-year savings at Glenn Smith, GMC, and Opelika. Get
Welcome back, everyone. Georgia Alabama Sports Houlihans. Let's run it. The Houlihans highlight of the week winner, which we're going to do right now.
In the shotgun. Another bad snap. Tarver's going to take the snap out of the air. He's in the secondary. 10, touchdown Tarver. Oh my goodness.
Popcorn Tarver in the end zone. The guy that made that call, been a part of the Carver run all season long. His name's Mike Peacock. Thank you so much, Mike.
Hey, glad to be here, Thrift.
How was it? It's
a three-headed monster.
Unbelievable, man.
I mean, they've made some plays. Those 3 rounds of the playoffs, incredible. And then that play Friday night, I don't know. I think the starting center got hurt earlier in the game.
Yep.
And so on that drive, there were 3 or 4 plays where the snap was just terrible. I mean, it was you could tell it wasn't their normal snapper.
No.
And
they were actually practicing at halftime. Right when they came out of the locker room with that.
And it was kind of an accidental wildcat play as the snap was so far to Sebastian Hurd's right that he couldn't get it. And it goes right to Popcorn Tarver, and he just takes off like it's a planned play. And the line opened a huge hole, and he was in the secondary in a flash. And when he got in the secondary, you know, when Popcorn Tarver's running the ball, and he gets in the secondary, he's going to score.
Yeah.
And so it was a fun call to make, but it was a great play, and it was a great Houlihans highlight of the week.
All right, let's talk about the Carver Tigers. We watched their entire playoff run, Mike. You were on the call for every single game. What makes this team so special, and why do you think they have the chance to go back-to-back and extend their winning streak to 28 games?
This team has just got a chemistry about them, Thrift, and I think a lot of that credit goes to Jarvis Jones coming in there this year and keeping that.
Right.
And then not only keeping it, but improving it. He's been there, done that at several levels.
Right.
What he's done with this team this year and keeping them together, keeping them focused. You know, the hunting theme.
I love it. When they're wearing their
coaches
overalls.
wearing the camo overalls on the sidelines, and you know, I mean, it's been something to watch. But they are so talented and they are so deep.
Right.
I mean, it's next man up.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody comes out and that backfield. How many high school backfields have you ever seen that had 3 backs that are as dynamic as those 3 kids are?
And you know what the crazy thing is? I had the pleasure of calling Troop County, Sandy Creek in the state championship. They got a kid by the name of Amari Latimer. He's got 40 touchdowns, had over 200 carries, and you know everybody's like he's doing incredible things. And I'm like, well, you know, if Carver only had a Watts or only had a Caslin or only had a Tarver, I feel like all 3 of those guys, who if they got 200 to 300 carries, they would have the same stats because combined, that's what they have. About 3,000 yards combined, close to 40 touchdowns. They've been elite all season long. Have you ever seen a running back tandem like that? And you've been here a long time, Mike.
And I started my coaching career way back in 1988. And I've never seen a team have a 3-headed monster like that. And I mean, and you got the other thing that's scary is Watts is only a freshman.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 3 more years.
He's getting recruited by Georgia, Alabama, elite.
I mean, and he returns punts for touchdowns. He runs out of the backfield. He catches passes. I mean, this kid is going to be something else. Got to keep his head on.
Right.
Got to keep his life in order, you know, to get there. But boy, he's on the right road for sure.
And if you're looking right now, let me correct myself. 3,266 yards by all 3, 59 touchdowns. Tarver has 21, Watts has 17, Caslin has 19. Watts had several that I thought, and one of them, pretty bad call that called back. Last game, he's actually had probably 7 or 8. I was talking with his dad, maybe close to 10 called back punt returns for touchdowns. He probably would have close to 40 touchdowns total this year. But Sebastian Hurd, the freshman quarterback, you know, you've seen him. You saw when he was a young whippersnapper coming up through Calvary. His brother played. DeAndre at Calvary was on that state championship team that made it a few years ago. As a freshman, to put up 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and leading this team with that pressure, I've been so impressed by him. And he's honestly been playing elite football, especially after that Sumter County game.
Oh yeah, and he's he's got the frame, and he's going to grow. I mean, he's not going to do anything but grow. He's going to get a little taller. He's going to get a little thicker.
Right.
His arm's going to get get stronger. His mobility's going to get better.
Right.
I mean, that kid's going to be something else by the time he comes out of Carver.
All right, now I want to transition from Carver and I want to talk about Columbus State basketball. Let's talk about the girls team. Last year came in as a preseason top 25 team. Mike, Coach Matt Hauser has made it to the tournament the last couple of seasons. What are you seeing early on this year?
Well, and first of all, let's say congratulations to Matt Hauser. Got his 100th win.
Congratulations, Matt.
The last home game, and so congratulations to Matt. But those girls, I mean, they've got some talented girls, and they play well together. They can play fast.
Yep.
They can go into the half-court game if they need to. They can press. And, you know, it's just Samara Saunders had a career game the other night. She was doing everything against Flagler. And those guys, Lataya, she just looks different this year.
Lataya Reeves.
You know, she's coming back this year. She's walking with a swagger that she didn't have last year. She's the senior leader, and she's just got that swagger about her. When she steps on the floor, she's got a lot of confidence, and I've only seen them a couple of times, but I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing out of this women's team, and looking forward to doing more games of theirs coming up.
So Lataya, 17 points a game this year, but she's obviously showing she's that dominant presence on the court. Columbus State girls team, 7-1. Their only loss is to Eckerd College. Last couple of games they've beaten Flagler, dominated them, dominated Lander, and then beat West Florida. Also beat West Alabama. They got North Georgia.
And that's a big one.
That played tonight, so we'll find out if they won that game. Saturday, that's a rivalry, Clayton State.
Right.
The other CSU that's in Division II. Next week, Augusta University and Francis Marion. Then they'll have the break. But a great start by Columbus State, who are ranked right now. Now let's talk about the boys team. Robert Moore, historic year last year. One of the best years in program history. Didn't make it as far as some of Herbert Green's teams, but able to finish as a top 5 team. What a season. Seniors leave. Now, Jared Addison, they don't have a guy like Jared Addison that can just take over a game. But I think they're more athletic and bigger than they were last year, and that's one of the things that killed them was stuff on the glass. What are you seeing early on with them?
And I'll tell you, if they would have been even bigger, because they have a 6'10" kid that unfortunately got an unfortunate diagnosis in the offseason and is having to miss this season to go through some treatment. But you know, they would have a 6'10" guy in there. But they've got some guys playing really well. The newcomers are starting to gel. You know, let's be honest. On Saturday against
you
Flagler,
were there, lost by one.
Lost by one. Free throws. Free throws were the story of the game. And they missed way too many free throws. If they hit those free throws, they win that basketball game. And you got to give Flagler credit. They played hard, but you know, that team's still coming together. When you got that many new pieces plugging into your puzzle,
no doubt,
they're still coming together. But you know, Marlon Smith, tremendous player. But you know, I mean, PJ Voles, excellent floor leader, shooter, can play the point, can play the wing.
Right.
I mean, they're just doing. They're doing a really nice job, and those guys are going to be okay as they go down the stretch. You know, don't be impatient with them here early.
Right.
But you know, they're fun to watch, and they're going to play hard.
One right now, Mike, and as you may mention, Marlon Smith, he's the leading scorer on the team, about 14.6. Jordan Mitchell, returning from last year, he's at 12.2. Jiden Hall, he's putting up over 12 points a game, and then also Lee Langstaff.
Lee Langstaff has been, in those home games last week, was tremendous. Huge. I mean, they shot the ball so well against ABAC. I mean, from three-point range, they were over 50% from three-point range. He and PJ Voles,
nice.
And, a couple of other guys chipping in, and you know they've got Messiah back this year, and he's kind of their big presence, and he's playing really well in his second year of college ball. This team's going to come together, and they're going to get better and better and better as they go through the year.
I completely agree with you, and I can't wait to go and cover them next week. I'm trying to look. I don't know if it's going to be either Thomas University that's on Thursday at 10 a.m.
That's going to be the Muskogee County School District game, so there's going to be a lot of noise in that Lumpkin Center.
I am going to try and see, and I'm going to pray, that somehow, some way, because it's not a conference game, that Georgia Alabama Sports Live may be able to broadcast the game. We're going to find out. I'm going to have to ask Robert Moore. Maybe, just maybe, we can get some Columbus State action here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Finally, I got to ask you this. As a resident Auburn fan, and I was able to cover them all the year this year. You know how much I supported Auburn growing up.
Absolutely.
It's better than supporting a guy by the name of Dabo Weenie. Dabo Weenie, one of the biggest goobers that's ever walked the planet. Auburn hiring Alex Golesh and keeping DJ Durkin. There's something about this coach that I really like, Mike. There's something about that the way he carries himself, and I think a fun brand of football is coming, and Auburn's going to go back to being relevant. That's the big thing. I don't even care about championships at this point. Be relevant.
Yeah.
That's all I want. What do you feel about with Alex Golesh?
Well, Thrift, the more I hear Alex Golesh talk, the more he becomes at home at Auburn, the more I like what I'm seeing.
And he wants to be here.
He wants to be there. It's becoming home for him, and I've heard him several times. You know this, I know this. We've been around Auburn. Growing up, my whole family was Alabama fans. And I learned in college when I started working in the sports information side after I stopped playing baseball.
Right.
I learned how to not be such a fan. And I started paying attention to different things, and then met my wife, and we started dating. They're an Auburn family, and started hanging out in Auburn a little bit, being around the town a little bit, being around the campus. Ended up taking some classes right after I graduated from college on the Auburn campus.
Nice.
I started falling in love with Auburn, and it's what Pat Dye said. Alabama fans love Alabama football. Auburn fans love Auburn.
Yeah, the school, the atmosphere.
Everything. And I've heard it from Alex Golesh. He said, Cody Burns kept telling me, there's something about this place. And he said, it's different. It's just different. And he said, I thought he was saying, that's where you went to school. That's where you played. That's where you graduated. You're going to say, he said, no, Coach, you don't understand. It's different. And he said, I got here. I'm going around campus. I'm meeting people. I'm around town a little bit. And he said, you know what? He's right. It's different. And he said, I love it. And I'm excited. I think, things happen for a reason. You know me, I'm a man of faith, and I believe a lot of different things happen. But I believe whatever happened with John Summerall happened for a reason.
I agree.
And I believe Auburn got the right man in the spot. And I think it's going to pay big dividends down the road. He's still working to keep some guys in the fold.
Right.
Cam Coleman, Simmons, some of those
Deuce
guys.
Knight,
Deuce Knight, and I heard Deuce has said he's going to stay.
Yeah.
But, I feel still waiting on Cam Coleman, still waiting on Malcolm Simmons. Hopefully those guys stay, because this offense is going to be dynamic. Look what USF did.
Yeah.
And same coordinator, same head coach, and you put the firepower that Auburn has under that offense. My goodness.
And the resources and the money.
Oh, wow.
And you got a guy he has literally said he'd rather die than lose. And that's what you want, because guess what? That's what's in Athens, that's what's in Tuscaloosa. That used to be what's in Clemson, South Carolina. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have on Richard Holdridge, love my guy Ricky Rogers, Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, Houlihans. We'll be right back after this.
Your surprisingly great race? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Carol Purdue in Phoenix City today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Houlihans serves fresh, handcrafted dishes made just the way you like them. Juicy burgers, sizzling steaks, crisp salads, and shareable appetizers set the table for every appetite. Relax with friends, celebrate special moments, or enjoy a casual night out. Houlihans delivers great food, great drinks, and great times, with 2 locations in Columbus, downtown at the Marriott Hotel and on Sidney Simons Boulevard at the W Hotel.
Welcome back, everyone. Live from Houlihans, Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. We've had a lot of fun here, Big Rich. I want to end it with Pete. Is it Bevacqua?
Bevacqua, the AD from Notre Dame.
Buffoon? Is that a good one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pete Buffoon the Notre Dame athletic director, has decided that he wanted to go on record saying that he can't believe that ACC would side with Miami. You lost to Miami. And then here's the kicker out of all of it, is that Notre Dame hangs their hat on the fact that they're rich in tradition and that they're one of now 180 billion other colleges that have their games broadcasted. This is not 2005. This is not 1985. Everybody's getting their game broadcasted. What perks is it going to Notre Dame anymore? What perks is it to be an independent anymore? And I think that's the message that the committee sent, and I'm glad they sent. And Notre Dame sounds like a bunch of whiny babies. I don't have no sympathy for them. I laugh at anybody that's a fan of them. I know Shane Gillis, funny comedian. Make fun of yourself. Notre Dame sucks. And yes, Alabama should have stayed into the playoff. It's funny, though. Guess who Pete talked to and is the only commissioner he's talked to in this whole week? Greg Sankey from the SEC. Now, if they want the smoke, by all means, come to the SEC. But I promise you, I don't think you're built ready for that. And if you are, you better go find some pocketbooks and some money that's going to be able to keep up with the recruiting that happens in the SEC.
Notre Dame was playing their best football down the stretch, but they didn't play anybody. You started out 0-2, and the two toughest teams on your schedule, Miami and Texas A&M, you lost to. Yes, it doesn't make any sense that Notre Dame was ranked ahead of Miami going into the selection show, but when BYU lost to Texas Tech and Miami jumped up, well, of course you got to put Miami over Notre Dame because they won the head-to-head. I agree. Alabama definitely needed to stay into this college football playoff because they were the runners-up in the SEC. I don't like the fact that Notre Dame's not in it, but if you're going to take a team out, the College Football Committee got it right by taking out Notre Dame. And what crybabies to refuse to go to a bowl game. That's unbelievable. I was completely baffled by that you're just you didn't get your way, so you're just going to pack up and leave. All right, let's go. We're not going to a bowl game. Come on.
You see how easy the schedule is next year.
Oh, my goodness.
And I also want to say RIP to Sharon Moore's career. He got fired for having a unprofessional relationship with a staffer, and
as long as it wasn't on a motorcycle.
And he didn't have a neck brace yet. We have not seen him. How about Big Rich pulling up the Bobby Petrino? And I will literally pay $1 million right now if I had it in my bank account for Sharon Moore to show up to a press conference with his neck brace on. Or any time that he gets interviewed about how this was egregious, please put on the neck brace, Sharon Moore. Listen, when stuff like this happens, because I find it hard to believe Sharon Moore is the first ever coach to have an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. When stuff like this happens, it makes me think there's a booster or someone within Michigan that was not high on Sharon Moore and was trying to find an out, like they did Brian Harsin with the Auburn Tigers, and it worked this time. They fired him for calls. Now they don't have to do the big payout and then go get someone else. The thing is, I thought Sharon was actually pretty good. He beat Ohio State last year. This year finished 9-3, but he's gone, and Michigan's going to be looking for a new guy.
Yeah, and we actually, Mike and I were looking on the break that there's could be a possible rumor that Harbaugh could return to Michigan, but it's not the Harbaugh you think.
John
Harbaugh to Michigan?
He'll get fired.
Come on.
And I'm glad you did that because we're going to wrap it up with this. I've quit on the Falcons until everyone's gone, and that includes Rich McKay, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, until they're all fired. I will not support that organization. It's become now Atlanta with the Braves having the year they had last year, and then the Hawks obviously coming out from the ashes because they've been in purgatory, which is a 7 or 8 seed, and that, well, you're not good enough to be in the lottery because you make the playoffs, but you're a 7 or 8 seed and you get swept in the first round. It's the worst position to be in the NBA. They're finally coming out of that. Okay, but right now it's a tough time to be an Atlanta sports fan in general. I do hope that if the Hawks are able, with the first-round pick of the New Orleans Pelicans, who is have the worst record in the NBA, they'll be a number 1 draft pick.
Yeah.
They potentially could have Milwaukee's. That could be another top draft pick. They could have several first-round draft picks in the top 5. Trade them, trade potentially Trae Young, and go get Giannis. I would do that in a heartbeat. You keep Richardson, you keep Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels. You bring in a top 5 player. And think about this. As good as Dominique Wilkins was, the Hawks have never had a top 5 player. The Falcons have only had one time, 1 year in their entire history they had a top 5 player. That was Matt Ryan when he won the MVP in 2016. Now the Braves are different. Even though I don't know if Chipper Jones, was he ever a top 5 player? I mean, Ronald Acuna won MVP. He was definitely a top 5 player.
Chipper Jones won MVP one year, I think in 1999.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I would say they've had a top 5 player. But the Hawks never have. If they are able to go and get Giannis Antetokounmpo, watch out, because the East is wide open this year, but nobody's beating the Oklahoma City Thunder. But it's a tough time to be an Atlanta sports fan.
Yeah, absolutely a tough time. You know, the Hawks are the only consistent winners. The Braves are terrible. The Falcons are terrible. Even Atlanta United is not the way they were back when they were making that deep run in the MLS. If you're an Atlanta sports fan, sometimes you just got to hate on your college teams. That's why it was great to see Georgia Tech do well.
And Georgia.
It was great to see Kennesaw State. They're going to be in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. They won the Conference USA.
Congratulations. Wrap it up with this. It's a different day when Dabo Swinney says that he's going to go and open up the transfer portal. The weenie has given in, and hopefully that helps Clemson get back to the mountaintop, because it's something that Ricky Rogers has not been able to sleep for over 3 or 4 years. The weenie monster has been on the loose, and he says, finally, I'm giving in. I'm going to the transfer portal. So good for the Clemson. But we've had a lot of fun here.
Yeah.
Houlihans, it's a place to be. Great food.
Man,
thank you to Ginger Surprise.
stuff.
Thank you again to Mercedes and everyone from Valley Hospitality, but specifically Houlihans. It's KC Burger, barbecue on it, onion rings, fries, delicious. Loaded nachos.
It's got guacamole right there.
Yeah, it's guacamole and avocado. And then we got deep fried mushrooms. Delicious. Thank y'all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show.